Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started. So good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dylan Ivey, and I'm the Louisiana SADD State Coordinator. And today we are doing our webcast Wednesday segment with some school bus drivers from Livingston Parish Public Schools. And so we are out here and we have the buses on deck, and we're fixing to jump on board the bus to talk a little bit about bus safety with some of our roadway heroes, our bus drivers that are out there each and every day. You know, school's back in session for a lot of us across the, in Louisiana and across the country. And even though a lot of our students are doing a hybrid model and they're only in school sometimes 2 or 3 times a week, our buses are now on the road every day, right? All 5 days out of the week. So it's very important that the public be aware that our buses are back out on the roads and school is in full swing again in that regard. So we definitely want to make sure that everyone is safe, that our students know the rules of the bus, and that also the drivers on the road understand how important it is and what their roles and responsibility is on the road as well. So I'm going to put my mask on here and I'm fixing to walk into the bus. We're going to talk to Miss Connie and Mr. Ed, and they're with Livingston Parish Public Schools. Okay, so I'm going to turn my camera around. All right, and actually, this is actually a special ed bus, which is pretty cool because it's air conditioned, so it's pretty nice. So today we have Miss Connie Landry, and she is one of the 2 bus drivers that have volunteered to be a part of this with us today. So we're so super thankful that you were able to join us, and thank you for that. We really do appreciate everything that you do to keep our students safe and everything on the roadway. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Miss Connie.
Connie Landry. I'm a SADD driver. I've been driving for 25 years, loving every day of it.
And you're rocking that seatbelt too, I see.
Oh yeah, just because we're bus drivers don't mean we don't have to follow rules as well.
I see that. So actually talking about rules, tell us a little bit about what are our rules on the bus for students?
Well, for number 1, they have to use the handrails on either side of the walkway when they come on the bus for safety issues. Come on in an orderly fashion, go to your seats. As you can see, I have high back seats. They're to sit down, put their backs up against the seat, put their bottoms on the bottom, legs in front of them, rucksack in their lap.
Very good.
There's no hands out the windows, no heads out the windows, and keep your hands to yourself.
Very good.
Keep your voice, what do they call it? You're in the room.
Inside voice.
Inside voice.
That's right.
Because if we can't hear, it can cause a fatal accident on these buses.
Absolutely.
Those are our basic rules. No eating, no drinking. Because the trash accumulates under our feet. And if I can't hit that brake, we got a problem.
That's right.
But those are the basic rules of riding a bus.
Very good. Thank you, Miss Connie. All right, so now we're going to turn it to Mr. Ed. We're going to come back to Miss Connie, but we have some questions for Mr. Ed. As you notice, Mr. Ed has skipped a seat, right? And so that is something that they're having to do because of COVID. So Mr. Ed, if you don't mind, just kind of tell us a little bit about yourself, how long you've been a bus driver, and just tell us a little bit about yourself.
My name is Edward Gertner. This is my 2nd year to drive. I've loved it so far. Kids are getting up every morning to make sure that they get a good education.
Very good, very good. And so you said this is your 2nd year. I would imagine this school year has been a lot different than last school year because of COVID. So can you tell us a little bit maybe about what's different for the students this school year?
The more challenging thing is them being required to wear a mask if they're, I think it's 8 years old and above. Us putting our seating charts together has been difficult because we're not allowed to sit 2 to a seat unless they're siblings, and trying to space them apart so many kids, that's hard to space them apart. That's why you have to put them by the window and tell them don't touch one another, stay in their seat, don't stand up, and basically just don't cough on one another. Be sure that they keep their mask on. We try our best while we're driving to make sure they all have it on, and just really spacing them out and making sure everything's sanitized.
And so we had talked earlier about you can only have one student per seat, right? So you have one student per seat and then you have to skip a seat? Or
That's what we've been told. Some buses are able to skip a seat. Some of them, they alternate.
oh, wow,
And
yeah.
then you can sit your siblings together, like if you have a brother and sister or two brothers.
Right.
They're allowed to sit in the same seat.
Right, right. So they're doing everything. Y'all are doing everything you possibly can to keep kids safe, and we greatly appreciate that. We're getting so many comments about your shirt. So many people are commenting saying how much they love your shirt. So thank you, Mr. Ed, for that great piece of advice. We're going to come back to Miss Connie here. And Miss Connie, if you could tell us a little bit about what you see as some of the biggest issues with drivers on the road that are not obeying the law and also are not really acting in the most safest ways when it comes to bus safety.
Our biggest issue is running our stop signs. Because you never know when we're going to have a kid that might dart out. I mean, we do our best to make sure they don't. But sometimes we even have a kid that has to cross the road. And if you pass the stop arms out here, you can hit that child. Our other problem is people pulling out in front of us. We are a big vehicle. We can't just stop. It takes a full football field for us to stop. So if our motorists would be aware of our amber lights, because that's our warning to you, and stop for our stop signs. And always remember, if you're on a 4-lane highway, if there's no medium, you still have to stop on the opposite side. That would help us greatly and relieve some of the pressure that is on us, because we don't want nothing happening to our babies, because they are our babies.
Precious cargo you're packing here. So that's absolutely so important for many drivers on the road. And with school being back in session, it's so important that people know to be aware, be alert, don't drive distracted, right? And pay attention. Be aware of when you see those lights. Get off your phone, right? Absolutely, absolutely.
Get off your phone.
So, Miss Connie, you tell us about the bus you drive specifically and how maybe this bus is a little bit different than some of the other buses that we may see on the road.
With my bus, I don't carry as many, but what I do carry, most of my kids have issues. So we have to put them in seat belts. As you can see, my bus is equipped with the seat belts.
Wow.
My bus is also equipped with car seats because I carry pre-K, handicap, first and second graders. And they have to be locked down in the car seat. Now back here, this is where my wheelchair children go.
Okay.
We fasten them in. It connects to all 4 sides of their wheelchair. They have a seat belt as well, which is a shoulder strap, to hold them in place. That way they don't go nowhere. And we have to lock down their wheelchairs.
Right.
And then of course, this is my lift. I know you get impatient when you get behind a handicap bus that has to put this down. We're going as fast as we can. These lifts don't move 100 miles an hour.
Right.
We're lucky if it's 2 miles an hour. But that is the biggest difference between my bus and a full-size regular ad bus. And my kids have a lot of issues, so we have to be on top of them at all times. That's why I have a bus aide that rides with me. She helps me to make sure our kids are okay. Because we have issues from anywhere from ADHD to seizures, to bipolar, to autism. So anything can happen with these kids at any moment.
Absolutely. Miss Connie, we just got a question that came through. People are asking, what do you do in the event of an emergency? What would be, something on the road happening, kids needed to get off the bus? How do they evacuate? What is the protocol? What are they supposed to do?
We are no different than the big bus. If our children can walk, we get them off in an orderly manner, either through the back door or front door. Depends on the situation. If we have a handicapped child, we have this to lay our handicapped child down with and pack her out.
Wow.
Because our least is the wheelchair.
Right.
If we can't put this down, this is how we get her out, right here. And all of the handicap buses are equipped with all this. So that's what we do. It really depends on the emergency. And of course, there's 2 of us on the bus for that purpose.
Very good. So basically, you're just showing us everything that you have to do. Look at all of the safety gear and equipment that is packed in this bus to ensure that everyone is safe, and the responsibility is so great that you have. And so everything that we can do on our part on the road to help is so important that we do everything we can.
Well, our big bus drivers have a lot of responsibility because they're one person,
right,
and they can deal from anywhere from 40 kids to 72.
That's a lot of kids.
That's
72 kids is a lot. That is a lot of kids. Wow.
It's a lot of responsibility because while we're watching kids, we're watching the weather, we're watching the outside traffic, and trying to get our babies to school and home again as safely as we know how.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Y'all are truly our roadway heroes. Mr. Ed, do you have anything that you'd like to add? Anything that maybe we missed or anything that you'd like to, add in here?
Just going back to the running the stop signs, think of it as if your kid was the one getting off. Just think of it like that, and when you're trying to go around them, and then all of a sudden you see that baby and then you get it. Just remember that, everybody. Act like your kid is on this bus.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Miss Connie, do you have anything that you would like to add?
Well, I think the most I'd like to add is we're not out here just because we're out here. You got to have a love for these kids to do this job. That is the biggest reason your bus drivers are here, is because of the kids. Mm-hmm. It's not because we got a lot of perks. It's because we love children. And each and every one of them, from pre-K to seniors, are very precious to us.
Absolutely.
So just remember, help us out, people.
That's right. That's right. You've heard the call for help for all the drivers out there. We just ask that you continue to look out, be alert, be very aware of the buses. School is back in session. Our buses are on the road 5 days a week, and continue to follow our Super Safe Summer series. We're posting content every day during the 100 Deadliest Days of Summer, which are still going on. And so continue to follow us on Louisiana SADD, all of our social media channels, as well as the other states that are participating as well. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. And again, we want to thank y'all both so much for joining us today. Thank you. Thank you.
Everybody needs to know what's going on.
That's right. That's right. All right, everyone. Have a great rest of your day.